Hey Crossroads, this is Pastor Matt with your weekly update of keeping you in the loop. So you probably noticed this week a few changes on our online format, and so I just wanted to talk a little bit through what and why we made those changes. First, the what. What we changed was the sermon and the music. We moved the sermon from the back to the front and the music from the front to the back, and we added communion. And the reason that we did that is, first and foremost, is really simply put, our vision that we want to become a church that's multi-ethnic, multi-generational, focused on making disciples of the next generation, specifically our kids and our grandkids. And so as we started thinking about those who are not here, what we wanted to do with our service is actually start with something that's familiar, which is someone speaking, as opposed to something that's maybe a little bit foreign or unfamiliar to people, which is cover songs of songs that they don't actually know. And so that was one of the reasons that we made the change. The other one, we really believe that when it comes to discipleship, that ultimately right mind leads to right heart, that leads to right response. And our hope during this time is to really, if we begin with the Word of God and make sure that our minds are right, that ultimately leads to a heart and a proper response to God. And so that's where we made those two changes. And the reason that we came up with communion and doing communion every week is that ultimately our heart is to bring people to the cross every week. And we believe that there's no better way to do that than through communion. And so through these next couple of months, we've added communion every week at the end of our sermon. You can find that. You can be prepared for that in our online services. The second thing that I want you to know about is we have partnered with CCU, one of the Christian universities here in Denver. And through that partnership, we're looking at bringing cheaper education to you if you want it. As a member of Crossroads Church, you get the opportunity to get 20% off any undergraduate studies or 10% off graduate studies. That is really equivalent to about an $11,000 scholarship. And so if you're at all interested in going back to school or maybe going to school for the first time and getting a Christian education, I'd encourage you to check out all of the details online or in our Keeping You in the Loop email. The final thing that I want you to know about, the third thing, is many of you have asked about Lebanon and what our response to Lebanon has been since the explosion that happened there. I just want you to know that we have been in constant contact with our partners there, seeing what they need, and this last week we had the opportunity to send about $10,000 to our partners in Lebanon, two of them specifically that are really in the epicenter of where the explosion happened, and that money is going to be used for food, clean water, shelter with the people in their community. And so I just want to thank you for your continued generosity week after week that enables us to do things like that.